Welcome to the Cover Your Assets podcast, a show for the physician who understands the importance of protecting everything you've worked so hard to achieve. If you're ready to find the peace of mind that only financial security can bring, let's get started. Here's your host, Billy Gwaltney.
Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Cover Your Assets podcast. I'm Billy Gwaltney, your host. Excited to be with you. Today's topic is a good one. It's the question of, is working with a disability insurance specialist better or preferable to working with a general financial planner or just an insurance agent? And that's an excellent question because to a certain degree, and I am a specialist. I work with physicians across the country, helping them secure their private specialty on occupation disability coverage that they keep throughout their career. And generally speaking, insurance is somewhat of a commodity to a certain degree. Okay. The insurance contracts are the same, different. If all things are equal, then different agents don't have access to contract terms or discounts that other agents don't have access to. So it's not like real estate where if you talk to one broker on Tuesday, you get a better deal than if you talk to someone else on Friday. And they can't go back and negotiate something that might be superior to the other broker. The rate is the rate. And I've done a podcast on that. The rate is the rate. So if you see a rate less expensive than what I've shown you, something's missing. That's what it means. It's either less coverage, doesn't have the definitions, or it's a graded premium that's going to get way more expensive throughout your career and you overpay for that. So the rate is the rate. There is no free lunch. That being said, all things are not necessarily equal all the time. Who your broker is matters. A specialist is in the medical field, I think, and whether you're in medicine or a patient, most people are kind of, if you think of a scenario of someone needs their knee fixed, okay, so they blow out their knee or they need a replacement or something happens and they're going to get their knee operated on. If it's my knee, I want to work with a knee specialist. I want to work with a guy or a gal who's done thousands and thousands of knees. And that's what they do, because that gives me confidence that they're really good at it. Whatever mistakes or learning curve there is in it, they've already had it. And they're not learning on my knee. I could go find a general surgeon somewhere, probably, who could work out in a pinch or who might be able to figure out, they're certainly intelligent enough to figure out how to operate on my knee. But they haven't done it a lot and they don't know what they don't know yet. And they're not in it every day. And so things can change. There could be improvements in procedures or enhancements that they're not aware of. And so they're kind of learning on my knee, and the details are really, really important for knees, right? So we count on those. They got to be really stable in order to hold us up and allow us to walk and run and move with stability. So I don't want to go to a generalist, and I don't care what they scored on the SAT. I don't care how nice they are. I don't care how much alignment I might have with them in other parts of life or who recommended them. If they're not a knee specialist, then I'm just not interested. I want to talk to a knee specialist. And then I can go back to my general practitioner for other things. I can go back to deal with someone else for things not related to my knee. The same is true with disability coverage. The devil is really in the details. It is possible. It's one of the few types of insurance. Usually health insurance pays at least something. Dental insurance pays if you get a cleaning. Life insurance, either you're breathing or you're not. So that's going to pay a claim. But it's possible to have disability insurance and be disabled. And any reasonable person would say that, yeah, you're clearly disabled, and not trigger a benefit because the definitions in the contract say you don't deserve a benefit yet. You are not disabled enough. And so it is possible to have insurance, disability insurance, pay for it for years, need it to come into play because you file a claim and never get a check. That is possible. It's happened. We have clients on claim. They all get paid from their private insurance, but a large percentage of them never see a nickel from their employer policy. They're insured by it. They're covered by it. Their employer marketed it to them when they signed up. They talked about how it was a good deal and promoted it as a benefit to working at that organization. But then when they need it, it's not going to pay. And it's not the employer's fault. It's the way the group disability marketplace works. It's the insurance world that makes that happen. And so there are not many insurance companies that offer the true specialty coverage contract language without gaps. I've said this over and over. There, in other places, there are three non-negotiables to a properly designed disability policy: the true specialty on occupation definition of disability, the enhanced residual or partial benefit, and the recovery benefit. And if you don't have all three, then the policy's missing something. And if you don't, in order to have all three, there's a very limited number of insurance carriers that offer that without any gaps. And then having the ability to flip the switch and increase coverage in the future is key as well, with those same definitions contractually included or guaranteed to be included. Those details matter. There aren't many insurance specialists out there that focus on disability coverage. I've been in the insurance business since 1991, started while I was still in college. I've been around, and most of my colleagues avoid disability insurance unless they have to. Financial advisors deal with it when they have to. If they didn't have to, they wouldn't do it. It's quirky, it's weird. They don't want to focus on it. If they are offering it, it's because they want other things in that relationship: retirement assets, investment assets, other stuff. Okay. For someone to really focus on disability insurance, it's all they do. It's the knee surgeon that says, this is all I'm going to be, my goal is to be the best in the world at this one thing. And that's what disability coverage is about. Then once you secure your properly designed disability coverage, you can go work with a financial advisor to help you with life insurance, retirement planning, investments, real estate, all those other kind of things. Most of our clients, we found out over time, fire their financial advisor at least once. Sometimes they'll go through 2 or 3 financial advisors and end up firing all of them because at some point down the road, they're philosophically not going to be aligned. Well, if that financial advisor also has your disability coverage, it gets weird, right? I mean, it's just weird when you fired them from everything else, but you got to talk to them when you want to increase your disability coverage. So our clients have found it really helpful to have an independent broker that all I do is this is what my team is designed to do: disability coverage. Now, I help most clients with life insurance as well, just because it's so closely related from an underwriting standpoint. But that's usually just term insurance. Okay. That's pretty easy to do. Again, either you're breathing or you're not. When it comes to disability coverage, you want to make sure that you have someone that's dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and making sure that if you ever need to collect, that you're actually going to get a check and it's going to perform the way you expect it to. And that's what's happened for all we do. Again, we have clients on claim. They all get paid, and they get paid as expected. So yes, is working with a disability insurance specialist better? Absolutely. Is it preferable? Over the course of your career, I think you would find it preferable. It doesn't have to be me. There just aren't many of us out there. I would love for it to be me. Happy to help you any way I can. But you want to make sure that these details are right, that this part of your financial life is exactly right, and then go find someone or a team of people to help you with the other aspects of that. The broker really matters also at the time of claim, making sure that you're being advocated for, that you're getting a check when you're supposed to get it. I've had 2 situations where people filed their disability claim forms and just kind of ran down the mountain on their own. They did not involve me. You can always go direct to the insurance carrier. So that's what these 2 people did. I guess they figured, how hard could it be? But they didn't know what they didn't know, and it got muddy, and they weren't sure who was on their side. They just didn't do it well. And it's not really their fault, although I guess it was, but they just didn't communicate it well. And so they reached, both of them, separate situations, reach out to me in a panic to say, hey, Billy, can you help me? And I didn't even know they were disabled. They hadn't told me. So they signed an authorization to allow me to be involved. I got involved in both situations, and they both got paid. We got it fixed. If something needs to be cleared up, your broker will be the one that does that. If it's a financial advisor that's doing retirement planning and investment advice, they're not really dealing with claims people. If it's someone that's less than 10 years in the insurance business, there's a good chance they won't be around 10 years from now. The attrition rate is like 95% in the insurance business. So you want to make sure that you're with an established broker that's independent, that focuses on this, because over the course of your career, you'll need it. And they have a robust team that can help. And I have agreements in place with other brokers that specialize in this in case I get hit by a bus. So there are contingency plans in place to make sure that you're cared for. Again, find someone like that. I think you would be glad you did. Details. Hope you found this helpful. Would be happy to discuss it with you further, talk about your particular situation in as much detail as you'd like. 704-270-2376 if you want to text me and we can schedule a time. Again, 704-270-2376. Grateful for your time. I always am. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Cover Your Assets podcast, a Work P2P production. New episodes drop every 2 weeks. If you've enjoyed the conversation, subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. For more tips and advice, visit the website and YouTube channel. Check the show notes for links. Join us next time for another episode dedicated to helping physicians like you get your disability insurance right and protect your way of life.